Today we're going to revisit George Floyd in this impromptu live. We're going to visit George Floyd. I'm looking for my icon to add my images, but I guess I can't. I don't see it on here where you can add. They might have took that feature away. Somebody said they can't hear me. What's up, the new Michaela? And what's up, Heather? What's up, Louisiana Sister Squad? What's up, Prudence? What's up, Jamar? Um, I guess they took the picture icon away. It's weird. Anyway, let me get started. I guess they took it away. I don't know. But let's get started. Just want to jump right into it. What's up, Teef? We'll jump right into it. The pictures would have made it better for Instagram. So if you all remember last year, I was talking about George Floyd, and I was following the case, and I was looking into all the details. And the problem with the whole George Floyd thing is making him a martyr. When you make him a martyr, you make what happened like it was a virtuous thing that he did, and it wasn't. I knew from the court case and the documents that he did not actually die from any choking at all. The coroner had already said that he had died from what was likely a fentanyl. One of his heart arteries were 75% clogged up. He had 11 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. And it's just funny that they were so hammering the point that he did not die from fentanyl. And since George Floyd didn't die from fentanyl, there's been thousands of fentanyl overdoses. Ironically, since George Floyd did not die from fentanyl, it's been thousands of fentanyl overdoses. And I told people when it happened, I said, this is a fentanyl commercial because they're telling you that this man didn't die from fentanyl. That's going to make everybody that wants to do drugs do fentanyl. But come to find out, it was fentanyl. We all know that a person can't talk or yell if you're choking them. The coroner said they found no signs of asphyxiation or anything like that. I knew all this stuff back then, and I said this. I said what all this was about. I said this was a big psyop, spell casting, all these things. Many folks got upset, but it just is what it is. They needed a martyr to push this movement, and George Floyd was it. George Floyd had the entire planet with a mask on saying they couldn't breathe. The George Floyd protest went global. And we talked earlier about the globalization of Blackness. And so what Tucker Carlson said shouldn't have been news. If you was following the case, you would have saw all the details. There was nowhere it was found that Derek Chauvin choked him at all. The coroner said no, but it was a trial that was had by public opinion. And to me, that's scary. What you all don't realize is that if they can try you on public opinion, you're finished. All they got to do is say you broke the rules. You left your house at a certain time. You didn't go back at a certain time. You ate too much food. You drove too far. Like the court of public opinion sounds good when it's white people, but it's going to be horrible when it's you. Trust me. The court of public opinions is going to be horrible when it's you. And black folks don't do well with accountability and responsibility. So all that emotional outburst stuff ain't going to work in the court of public opinion. But let me just go to the Tucker Carlson interview, and not interview, but his monologue. And remember what I said when I said that they predicted the George Floyd thing in the Captain America movie. It was predicted. I don't, you think about it. You had the Corona beer bottle in Times Square. You had a Peter Pandemic symbol of a fake virus over here in one building. You had the Corona beer. You had the "By George, We Did It" sign by Captain America, and you had the Captain America T-shirt that had something that was similar to George Floyd's tattoo on his chest. So all of these things were predicted. They say they call it predictive programming. I'm just telling you all that none of this stuff is by chance. It's all by design. Like, again, they're playing chess and you all are playing Connect Four with no bottom. You slide a chip in, it goes right to the floor. That's what y'all are playing. Y'all just putting the chips in, they're going to roll on the floor. They're playing chess, though. But let's continue.
It was not, in fact, a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Now that we know that Ukraine is not actually winning the war against Russia, it could be time to revisit some of the other slogans we've been assured are true and ordered to repeat. Are they, in fact, true? Did, for example, a racist white cop actually murder a man called George Floyd, a civil rights leader, in Minneapolis on Memorial Day of 2020? Now, we've been told that that happened, told it relentlessly for more than 3 years. So at this point, we've been told it so much that pretty much everybody seems to believe it. And because everyone does kind of believe it, a small group of people has been allowed to make massive changes to American society. They include, but are not limited to, decriminalizing stealing, defunding the police, adding a new federal holiday to the calendar called Juneteenth, the ceasing of hiring all white men in corporate America, and of course, significantly, they also sent a cop called Derek Chauvin to prison for more than 40 years.
Now, when he mentioned the white men not being hired, they bragged about the 300 and some jobs in America, and like none of them were white people, like less than like maybe 1% were white. And they bragged about that. So again, when I talk about this anti-white movement, the anti-white movement is a movement that is anti-God. All they do is they attach everything that's decent to white people and they get you to hate it. It's no deeper than that. It's not rocket science. It's not some diabolical plot. They just attach everything that is decent to white people and they get you to hate it. So now when a white person tries to hold you accountable, you'll believe that doing right is the opposite. Now, when you see a white person doing well, you believe they stole from you and didn't work hard. Like this is all, it's really rudimentary psychology. It's like psychology 101. But at the end of the day, the only way this stuff works is that you have poor character. When you have poor character, this stuff works. If you have character, none of this stuff could work because you would always examine yourself and then examine what you see. But he's talking about where they bragged about. I did a video clip about it where the guy went through the numbers on how they barely hired any white men in corporate America, and they were bragging about it. Again, there is an anti-white movement, but the anti-white movement is really the movement that is against God. If you don't believe me, just look at what's celebrated and just look at what's condemned. That's all you got to do. Now, George Floyd was a drug addict. He sold drugs. He did porn. He assaulted a woman, put a gun to her pregnant stomach. Where's the dope? Where's the money? George Floyd was a cancer to his community. But when he dies, he becomes a hero and a martyr. That's a problem. And it's a problem because if you're looking up to degenerates, what's that going to make you? What's that going to make your children? That's the goal, though. The goal is to globalize the world with blackness, i.e., globalize the world with a victim mentality, i.e., globalize the world with degeneracy. How else can we usher in the Antichrist if the world's not full with degenerates? Okay, let's continue.
He would be the racist white devil who murdered George Floyd. But the question is, did he actually murder George Floyd? And the answer is, well, no, he didn't murder George Floyd. And we're not guessing about that. We know it conclusively, thanks to a new court case now underway in Hennepin County, Minnesota. The case was brought by a prosecutor there called Amy Sweezy. She's suing her boss. So the case is not actually about George Floyd or Derek Chauvin, but it tells you an awful lot about both of them. In her deposition, which you should read, Amy Sweezy describes a conversation that she had with the county medical examiner, Andrew Baker, right after George Floyd died. Quote, "I called Dr. Baker early that morning to tell him about the case and to ask him if he would perform the autopsy on Mr. Floyd." Sweezy recalls all this under oath in the deposition. Quote, he called me later in the day on that Tuesday, and he told me that there were no medical findings that showed any injury to the vital structures of Mr. Floyd's neck. There were no medical indications of asphyxia or strangulation. Oh.
Dear YouTube, you all know that I believe that George Floyd is a hero. You know, I believe that he is a martyr and a hero, and he should be celebrated even more than Martin Luther King. Communism is good. Marxism is good. BLM is the greatest organization ever created. Men can be women, and men can get pregnant, and men can have menstrual cycles. I love diversity. I love inclusion. I love a multicultural America. Joe Biden is the greatest president in America. Kamala Harris is the greatest vice president in American history. We love Michelle Obama. We love Barack Obama. They are heroes in this country. And we just love how how much better America is without Trump. Thank you, dear YouTube. Let's continue.
In other words, George Floyd, according to the official autopsy, was not murdered. He died instead of what we used to call natural causes, which in his case would include decades of drug use, as well as the fatal concentration of fentanyl that was in his system on his final day. So this was not a killing. It was yet another narcotics OD in a country that records more than 100,000 of them every year.
So the coroner stated that George Floyd showed no signs of being choked or air restricted, and no signs of neck trauma. And people have done this. They put the knee on the back of the neck to prove that it does not stop you from breathing. You can try this at home. This does not stop you from breathing. It just doesn't. And then come to find out, his knee was on the back of his shoulder blades. But anyway, George Floyd was hollering and talking, and no, if you're getting choked and you can't breathe, you can't talk and you can't yell. These are common sense things. So imagine how scary it is to be in a world where you look at something that's very common sense and very easy to see. He's yelling, he's talking, clearly he's not being choked, but you walk away and say he's being choked. So that means your own eyes can't even be trusted. Forget logic. Forget common sense. Even your own eyes are now dumbed down to where if you see something, you don't see it. So again, the world got dumber because of George Floyd. And that was the purpose of it. The purpose of it was to get you all spiritually opened up, because what happened after that came the snake bite. And everybody took the snake bite. So I attribute the snake bite to George Floyd, because you watched George Floyd over and over again, and all it did was open you up spiritually. You all do know that trauma opens you up. It doesn't open you up in a good way, it opens you up in a bad way. It doesn't open you up to receive God, to receive love, to receive Christ. It opens you up to receive demonic spirits and evil and wickedness. And so what George Floyd did was, you all watched trauma over and over again. They told you it was real. It opened you up. And then when the snake bite came, you took the snake bite. So at the end of the day, somebody said, you get shut down for sharing the truth. Exactly. This is where we are, though. We're in an era where the truth is the problem. And we know this because the truth will set you free. So there's no way they're going to tell you the truth, because the truth is freedom. God is the truth. It's freedom. It's liberating. But let's continue.
The medical examiner clearly understood that and, in fact, articulated it. And Sweezy explains. He said to me, she recalls in the deposition, Amy, what happens when the actual evidence doesn't match up with the public narrative that everyone's already decided on? And then he said, quote, this is the kind of case that ends careers. In other words, everyone lied about it from the very beginning.
Now, I want you to think about, everybody knew if they told the truth, they would lose their career. We can talk about America being racist. We can talk about conservative white people, but we see who has the true power, because the liberals, the left, the degenerates, whatever you want to call them, they control the media. I venture to say most of your major companies are controlled by liberals, especially in media. Bill Gates is a head honcho in the world. He's a liberal. Klaus Schwab is a head honcho in the world. He's a liberal. Like think about all the prominent figures in the world. They're liberals. So again, this notion that white America or white conservatives are controlling anything is a myth. It's not even true. It's just a lie. But they want you to believe that. And it's funny because you look around, you see black folks everywhere. Media, sports, and you see black people plastered on billboards, buses, subway. Black people are everywhere. Black folks are represented in every facet of American society. Matter of fact, overly represented. But they'll make you believe that the image of black people is portrayed negatively. I'm like, where? Who could dare portray black people in a negative light? Who could portray them? Black people are being portrayed how they want to be portrayed. They want to be seen a certain way, and that's how they're getting portrayed. But let's continue.
The people who knew the truth hid the truth and allowed the revolution to proceed. Now they've been exposed. Now we know the truth. What happens next? Well, they're going to ignore it. The Biden administration just issued a long purple statement celebrating George Floyd's birthday. He's a martyr, despite the fact we know that he was not murdered. And by the way, Derek Chauvin is still languishing in jail for the rest of his life. So how do we respond to this? How do we respond to the truth once we have it? Well, Vince Everett Ellison seemed like a good man to ask. He's the author of Crime, Inc. He joins us now. Vince, thanks so much for coming on.
Now, I've gone through great lengths discussing George Floyd and all the details. So again, you saw most of the world concede to a lie. Now, I want you to think about the Antichrist and think about, we just saw people concede to the lie of the Peter pandemic. We saw people concede to the lie of the snake bite. We saw people concede to the lie of George Floyd. We saw people concede to the lie of the Willy Wonka war over there with Zelensky and them. And then we see people falling for the conflict over there in Israel. But at the same time, you all should understand that this is the Bible unfolding. We see major lies that are easy to sift through, that are easy to say, okay, that's not true, and people are going for it. So we already see that the Antichrist spirit is already here in the world. It's already here. Because there's no way you could have saw George Floyd on the ground yelling and you thought he was being choked. Like it's so common sense that to ignore it is to actually be demonic. It's to actually be satanic. To ignore that blatant of a truth is to actually just side with Satan, which is what most folks did. Let's continue.
So as with so many other stories, the origin
thanks for having me, Tucker.
Of COVID, it's a blessing to have you. We now know what actually happened, but the question then is, what do you do with that knowledge? We know that the U.S. government, Tony Fauci, worked with the Chinese to create the virus that overturned the American economy, but what do we do with that knowledge? What do we do with the knowledge that George Floyd was not actually strangled to death by a cop?
We have to acknowledge the people that gave it to us and why. See, George Floyd is the Democratic Party's prototypical black man. These are the black men they are trying to create. So George Floyd has to be elevated. He has to be celebrated. He's perfect to them. He was poor. He was uneducated. He was a drug addict. He didn't have a job. He was down there begging and crying and asking the white people to not kill him. To a white Democrat, this is the perfect black man. So he has to be elevated. Look, not a few days ago, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden celebrated hip-hop music. They had a celebration of hip-hop.
Hip-hop culture is America's culture. It is a genre. It is music and melody and rhyme. And hip-hop is also an ethos.
A music genre that calls the black man the N-word, calls women the W word and the B word, talks about misogyny, shooting police, smoking dope, selling dope, fighting, killing, acting a fool. They celebrated this genre. Why? Because this is how they see black America. They see us the same way they see George Floyd. And they have to make more of us because everywhere they rule, you know, John F. Kennedy stood in front of the Berlin Wall in the 60s and said, if you think that communism is great, let them come to Berlin. Well, if you think that the Democratic Party is great, let them come to Detroit. Let them come to Chicago. Let them come to St. Louis. Let them come to L.A., Portland, Seattle, Memphis. Anywhere where they rule, you'll see George Floyd's all over the place. And they're proud of them. In Baltimore, Maryland, they spend $21,000 per child for every child up there inside the school district. Not one school is proficient in math, science, or reading. But they keep it going every year. Why? Because they're producing George Floyds.
So you heard what he just said, and he's 1,000% correct. The image that the Democratic Party has of black people is one of degeneracy. And in fact, Republicans and conservatives get heat because they don't see black people that way. And so the problem is that black folks have put themselves in a bit of a, as Jada Pinkett Bullethead would say, entanglement. Is that black people love the image of George Floyd. They love it. But they also want this progress. So what they're holding on to is an anchor. George Floyd was a degenerate dope fiend. And even if I say it, people get upset at that. But it's true. If George Floyd hadn't have died, nobody would be celebrating him. Nobody would look at his life and say he's a great guy. Nobody. So it's just funny to me that in the black community, if you die by the hands of the police, you're all of a sudden, all your sins are forgiven. Think about how egregious that is. Think about God ruling over everything, and black people are taking a white person killing a black person as a sign of forgiveness. I don't think we realize the magnitude of what's taking place now and what the future holds. Black people are finished. I'm going to say that right now. Black people are done. If you're trying to save black people, you can forget that. All you can hope to do is save those in the black community that want to be saved. If you look across a sea of black people, you're going to see a bunch of fists up. When you see a hand up, it's when you reach down. You look out, you see a sea of black fists in the air. Only reach down for the ones that have their hands open. That's the only one you can say. That's going to be few and far between. But I'm telling you now, what black folks have created is the pathway for the Antichrist. And now, let me be honest with y'all right now. I don't believe any of the history at this point. I don't. Because in my opinion, if the history was true, then the cause would be righteous. The cause not being righteous lets me know the history wasn't true. A bad tree cannot bear good fruit, just like a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. So if the history was true, then the fruits of that true history would reap a good harvest, and they haven't. The more black folks have learned about history, quote unquote, black history, the worse black folks have gotten. The more black folks have learned about black history, the worse black folks have been. So now I don't believe the history because the history is yielding a bad fruit. So I know it's not real because there's no way it could be real, but the cause be unrighteous. There's no way black history could be true and then BLM emerge. There's no way black history could be true and communism emerge. There's no way black history could be true and MLK emerge. There's no way black history could be true and the Nation of Islam emerge from a white guy. There's no way black history could be true and you get Barack Obama. A bad tree cannot bear good fruit. So if everything bad is springing from black history, why would I believe it? I don't. Black history has been the downfall of not just black people, but America, the world. You type in slave, a black person's face gonna pop up. You type in oppressed, a black person's face gonna pop up. You type in criminal justice, black person's face gonna pop up. Social justice, black person's face gonna pop up. So again, I don't believe the history, because if the history was true, then the results of the history would be different. It'd be a righteous cause, and it isn't one. Let's continue.
And George Floyd's vote for the Democrat Party.
But why would, so when most of us, you, me, I think all normal people look at George Floyd's life, you think this is a disaster. This guy never added anything. He took a lot, in prison at least 8 times. I mean, his life was a tragedy at best. Why would you want more people like that?
Because he votes for the Democrat Party. And then he teaches his children to vote for the Democrat Party. And then these white Democrats can feel superior to him. Yeah. He can be controlled by them. Just like, think about an old slave plantation, talk back in the day. How they wanted their slaves to act. Subservient, obedient, ignorant, doing what he was told. Not asking any questions. Having a slave mind. Being dependent on them. This is how they want black men to be in America. This is.
Monet says, your point is proven true, Blanche. Hamas leader claims the same type of racism used against George Floyd is being used against them. Listen, thank you, dear Monet. Like I said, it is the globalization of blackness. Black Lives Matter Global Network. The original Black Lives Matter was a man in Southern California, a black man whose his wife's ex-husband was killed by the police. He started Black Lives Matter to build a relationship between the police officers and the community. That was the original Black Lives Matter. The three-headed dragon, those three ladies, I use that term loosely, those 3 demons that headed BLM, they took that name and they added Global Network and they called themselves Comrades. So they already took something and did the reverse of it. So Black Lives Matter originally was used to build a relationship between community and police. Their Black Lives Matter was used to divide community from police because you want to get rid of the police so you can have a dictatorship type of state where you have the federal government implementing martial law, having people zone. This is what they want. This is what they want. So again, Black history wasn't history at all. Black history was a foundation laid for global communism because they knew if we can get black folks on board, we can get the whole world on board. I believe that every group of people on the planet have a unique gift, whether they be the Asians, the Hispanics, the natives, the indigenous, the black. Everybody group on the planet has a gift. Black people have the most detrimental gift, and that is influence. So now you got black people having a gift to influence, but they love black culture. It's almost unfair. It's almost unfair for black folks to have the gift of influence, but also have the indulgence or the wanting and yearning for decadence, death and destruction and damnation. It's almost unfair. It's almost like, God, why would you do that? Why would you give them the gift to influence the world, but also they got a craving for everything that's vile and wicked and disgusting? It's tough. This is why to whom much is given, that much more is required. This is why to whom much is given, that much more is required. How do you meet the requirement? How does a person meet the requirement for the gifts that God gave them? I'll tell you, it's character. You say, I'm going to do what's right because it's the right thing to do at all costs. I'm going to do what's right simply because it's the right thing to do. You ain't got to offer me heaven. You ain't got to offer me streets of gold. You ain't got to offer me money. You ain't got to offer me food, clothes, or shelter. I'm going to do what's right simply because it is the right thing to do. If you put yourself in that position, you won't fail. If you say, I'm going to be of service, you're not going to fail. The moment you think you above somebody, the moment you think you done figured it out, is right when the devil going to be waiting for you right there. I got him. Let's continue.
How they want the whole black community to be. This is why it started in the civil rights movement when Martin Luther King Jr. in his I Have a Green speech said, 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. He said 5 times in that speech that we were not free. It turned the Declaration of Independence on its head, because in our Declaration of Independence it said that our freedom was an unalienable right given us by God. John Locke in his second treatise of government said that an unalienable right is a right given from God. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. The government cannot touch it. It supersedes law. It supersedes the Constitution. However, King said that we was coming to government and to the white man for our right to be free. Even at the end of the speech, he said, on some certain day, we'll be free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. He said in that speech, when will we be satisfied?
Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last. The irony of King talking about black people ain't free, and right after that speech, he went and hopped in the bed and had an orgy with a bunch of white women. Sniffing cocaine. Everything white in the room. The women were white, the dope was white, and everybody had white teeth, hopefully. Just imagine King in a speech saying that black people aren't free, and he's having orgies coked out with white women. The Constitution, Bill of Rights, is based on natural law. Somebody came along and told y'all they weren't talking about you. All this stuff was done when a time when slavery was legal, but everybody wasn't a slave. It's hard to convince someone that slavery isn't a choice when you see all groups of people enslaved. And then you see all groups of people not enslaved. It's hard to convince somebody that it's not a choice. Wait a minute. He looks like you and he's not a slave. He looks like you and he's not a slave. So why, like, it's hard. This is why I say I don't believe the history. I don't believe it.
He said, we will never be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. That's a fancy way of saying never. And so black people heard that speech and said that we were not free here in America. And we make our children recite that speech every single year on King's birthday. And they say in that speech, the Negro is still not free. George Floyd was a slave in his mind. And the civil rights movement caused him to be a slave in his mind. And today they're still marching, 60 years later, telling black people, you're not free. Beg for reparations. Beg for affirmative action. Kill your children in the womb. Cut off your child. You castrate your children. Let drag queens come into school and shake their behinds in your children's faces. Run God out of the public square. And then they end up like George Floyd. But the one thing they do consistently is they vote for the Democratic Party, and the places where George Floyd's live, they stay in absolute power.
That's
and so so George Floyd is an indictment on black people. He's an indictment on black people, not black culture. George Floyd is an indictment on black people because George Floyd was supported by the majority of black people, even though he should have been rejected. The moment they said he was a hero, black folks should have rejected it. The moment they said he was a martyr, black folks should have rejected it. The moment somebody put up a mural, black folks should have rejected it. The moment they made a statue, black folks should have rejected it. The moment they made the one liberal white artist painted him as transgender Mary, and he was George Floyd. He made Mary look like George Floyd and George Floyd look like George Floyd in the painting. So what I'm saying, what I'm telling you is, there has to come a time where you tell the devil no. And collectively, I see more and more black people are not telling the devil no. When they said George Floyd was a hero and a martyr, black folks should have said enough was enough, but they didn't. They rolled with it. You know why they rolled with it? Because Tupac is a hero and a martyr. Biggie is a hero and a martyr. Any rapper that dies is a hero and a martyr. So it's hard for black folks to not make these people getting killed martyrs. It's hard. And so when the children of Israel got free and they were on their way to the promised land, the true intent of why they wanted freedom came to its head. The 10 Commandments came about because that's how flagrant they were. So they really only wanted freedom, children of Israel, to sin. But not just sin, they wanted to be able to sin under the guidance of a righteous man. You see, black folks are real clever in what they do. What black people do is they propel somebody to be a leader. They know they compromise and know they flawed. They get them to lead them. And then under that leadership, black folks run amok. And then right when they're being held accountable, they're going to point back to the leader. When Barack Obama said that all the children should be in the same bathroom, we're going to cut the funding, black folks should have rejected Barack Obama. When Barack Obama was pushing the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ agenda, black folks should have rejected him. And it's not that you reject folks from the community, you just reject the agenda. The same way I reject the trans agenda, I reject the BLM agenda. I reject the climate change agenda. I reject the Peter Pandemic agenda. I reject the snake bite. They all by the same people. They just look different. But black people have given their way, have sold their birthright to the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party, the liberals, have offered up black people's birthright to Satan. All Satan needs is your consent. That's all he needs. He don't need your ceremonies. He don't need your smoke. He don't need your pentagrams. He don't need your goat head. He don't need your blood. He just needs your consent. He don't need no elaborate ritual where you walking with hoods on and candles in the caves. He don't need all that. He needs your consent. That's all he needs. He needs you to know you're doing wrong and continue to do it. That's all Satan needs. If your body is a temple, when you do wrong and you know you're doing wrong, you open the temple doors to Satan. That's all he needs. He don't need all this elaborate stuff. That's Hollywood. You got to squeeze the blood on it. You got to get the knife, hold it up. No, I ain't need all that. It's magic, hocus pocus. Witches brews and spells, and all that stuff. All you need is for you to be doing wrong and know you're doing wrong, and you give Satan all the access. You give away. And that's what black folks are doing. I'm not giving black folks a pass. Oh, they had Stockholm Syndrome from slavery. Oh, they got passed. No, black folks know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. So black folks know when they're doing wrong and why they're getting held accountable. They know why. So again, it ain't got to be deep. Just do what's wrong and know you're doing what's wrong, and you give Satan access, period.
That's a pretty dark explanation. So you're saying that the Democratic Party as an organization intentionally degrades black people to keep them compliant and obedient.
Oh yes, in my book Crime Inc., I talk about one of the main things they do, like the mafia and organized crime. They humiliate black people. They demoralize them. It's a Marxist construct. They demoralize their people. They beat them down. They tell them that they're victims. Well, it was Martin Luther King Jr. that said, they tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, how can you pull yourself up by your bootstraps when you're bootless? You know?
They tell you to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, but how can we pull ourselves up if we don't have any boots? Someone told a lie. They hid it in language. They made everything that was black ugly. What you got to realize, you all, if it sounds good, it's not good. Because the truth has never sounded good. Tell me a time in your life when you heard the truth and it sounded good. And don't say, when they told me that my Lord and Savior was Jesus, and I heard, no, because you was cutting up years before. You heard that before. You heard it before. You said no. Tell me when you heard the truth and it was good. Tell me when you heard the truth and you was like, yeah, that's it. Never. When you're telling the truth, ain't nobody clapping. When you really telling the truth, the room is silent. You know why? Because everybody in the room is examining themselves. They ain't got time to clap. They figuring out life while you're talking. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Danny the Nightblaze. Let me say what's up to y'all real quick. Let me stop real quick. Say what's up to y'all. Let me go through it. Get my what's up out the way. What's up, Michaela? Say what's up. Heather, what's up? Katie, what's up? Prudence, what's up? Jamara, what's up? Mika, what's up? Jay, what's up? Baby for Life, what's up? Kenya, what's up? Marcel, what's up? King Tabernacle, what's up? Heather, what's up? Thank you for the super sticker. Heather, thank you so much. Prudence, what's up? Ross Witty, what's up? Orande, for real, what's up? Brenda, what's up? Robert, what's up? Jet, what's up? Rena Bina, what's up? LA Thorn, what's up? Destro, what's up? Kuheen, what's up? Kaiya, what's up? Agatis Navi, what's up? Thank you, LA Thorn, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Eugene 123 for the super sticker. Thank you. What's up to you too? Joseph, what's up? Danny, what's up? Khalil, what's up? Thank you, 160 for the super sticker. Thank you. What's up? Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. But you know, let's get back to it. Slim, what's up? But let's get back to it.
Told us we were bootless. You know, you have black preachers, and you've heard, you know about my iron triangle, the black preacher, the black politician, the black civil rights worker. They go into the black community. Consistently, you're a victim. You're oppressed. The country hates you. Well, see, I look at them and I say, I'm a black man, but I cannot be oppressed. You know why? Because I'm a child of God. I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. I cannot be a victim. Why? Because I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. I'm a child of God. I cannot be a victim. See, they tell these people to go against their religion and their basic ideology, because most black men say they're Christians, right? But then they walk around saying, I'm oppressed. I'm a victim. I'm afraid. 365 times in our Bible, they tell us to fear not. Yet they walk around saying they're afraid in the United States of America. LeBron James said he's afraid. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar says he's afraid. Kaepernick said he's afraid. Well, I'm a black man in America, and I'm not afraid of a damn thing. I don't ask for permission in my own house. America is my home. So as they walk around here crying, talking about, I'm frightened, I'm afraid, I can't make it, please help me, I tell them they stink in my nostrils. They're an affront to God. The flip side of white male intimidation during the civil rights was also black male cowardice. They laid down and let them beat them, slap them around, rape their wives and their children. Well, no, not me, never me. I'm a free man. I live in the United States of America. They say it's an honor to be, that there's white supremacy and that white people have some type of privilege. Well, as I said before, it is a privilege to be white, but it's also a privilege to be black. And it's a privilege to be an American. And it's really a privilege to be a Christian in the United States of America, the greatest country on the face of this earth. And they're not going to make a George Floyd out of me. I stand up strong. I look them in the eye. And I say, I'm a free man. My freedom comes from God. It's an unalienable right given to me by him. You cannot touch it. And if you try it, I got two things that'll get you off of me. Jesus and my 38. Come try me out.
So,
listen, I love it. I love it. Now, what he said is 1,000% correct. And this is why I say that most black people are atheists, because most black folks say they're oppressed. It's impossible to believe in God and be oppressed. It is impossible. You can't. You can't say I'm oppressed and I believe in God. You can't do it. I'm sorry. In God's kingdom, there are no victims, only victors. No victims. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. What happened to black people? Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. What happened to black people? He said on the other side of white male dominance is black male cowardice, because you can't have white male dominance without having black male cowardice. Think about that for a second. Say we say that white supremacy is real. Systemic racism is real. It can only exist with compliance. It couldn't exist any other way. So on the other side of you saying that the white man controls everything or the Jews control everything, the other side of that coin is you're a coward. And black folks are real slick with the language, because they hide behind words like system, systemic, something I can't really touch. I can't really see. It's a system. White privilege. I can't really touch it. I can't really see it. White privilege. White supremacy. I can't really touch it. I can't really see it, but it's there. Black folks been cowards for a long time. Black folks been cowards for a long time. And MLK was right. They crouched it in language. They crouched it in language. MLK made y'all believe that you were oppressed, that you were not free, even though you had a choice every day when you wake up in the morning. Every day we get up, we got a choice. And to me, a choice is freedom. Once they remove the choice, you're no longer free. But long as you got a choice, you got freedom. That's all freedom is a choice. How you choose to view the world. What about all the men that are locked up in the system? They chose to give their freedom away. I watched a video of the guy getting shot by the police, and they keep bringing up that he was wrongly accused and did 16 years in prison. Well, clearly he didn't learn anything. Clearly he didn't learn anything. I saw the way he acted in front of that police officer. He acted like a fool. Acted like a savage. non-compliant. You in Georgia flying past the police doing 100. They're going to give you a suit. Do y'all know what a super speeder ticket is? They're taking you to jail. You going to jail. You going by doing 100. They don't pay it in Georgia. But black folks skipped over all that. Skipped over the non-compliance. Skipped over the fighting with the police. Skipped over the speeding. All black folk was focused on what he did 16 years for nothing, which I don't believe. You did something. You just got caught on something else. You did something. That which a man soweth, he also shall reap. And black folks will have you believe when they go through things that are unjust, quote unquote unjust, that they're innocent. You ain't innocent. It's called reaping and sowing. You avoided your consequence over here, but they got you over here. Many of you all listening here right now have never been falsely in prison for 16 years. You know why? Because you don't live your life that way. And what about Jonah being in the belly of the whale? Jonah was instructed to go somewhere he didn't want to go. So because he didn't, he got swallowed by a whale. So Jonah got put in a big fish. Jonah got put in the big fish's mouth, in his belly, because he was disobedient. So I know when black folks is going to the belly of the beast, somewhere in their timeline is a lot of disobedience. Let's continue.
So the Democratic Party used BLM as a domestic militia in the last presidential cycle, 2020, to defeat Donald Trump. Do you expect something like that to happen again?
Well, you see how they use the same tactics as Iran. Iran has Hezbollah and Hamas as their militias. And the Democratic Party uses BLM and Antifa as theirs, throwing the rock and hiding the hand. Of course they're going to do it. They've always done it. Even at the beginning, they used the Ku Klux Klan for the military ring. Now they're using BLM, they're using Antifa, they're using NAACP, and they're their suicide bombers. They're their shock troops. They're their brown shirts. They're their street soldiers. And they're going to go out there, and I guarantee you, Tucker, they're going to look over all the black-on-black violence. They're going to look over all the black men killing black men. They're going to look over all the snatching grabs and all the burning and all the fighting and looting and acting a fool. And they're going to find one crazy white cop that's going to do something to some crazy black man, and then they're going to try to burn this country down for it. That's their plan. That's their template. I hope America's ready for it because it's coming. And it always works for them. It always works because the press and everybody's just waiting. Oh, they're on the starting line just waiting for it. And as soon as they find that golden kill, watch them go crazy with it. BLM is going to start getting their money from the Democrat Party because that's who they get it from. The same way that Hamas gets their money from Iran. BLM gets their money from the Democrat Party. And BLM does not stand for Black Lives Matter. It stands for burn, loot, and murder. And that's what we should call them from now on.
Vince Everett Ellison, Bible under 38. It's great to see you today. Thank you very much.
Vince Everett Ellison. Now, most black folks will call him a coon and a sellout because he's standing for what's right. And I'm going to tell you all again, like I said before, the whole George Floyd thing was the one big psyop and a spell cast on the masses of people. I told you all before to repent for believing that George Floyd nonsense, to repent for it. If you believe a lie, you're going to suffer the consequence of believing a lie. There's no way you can be in constant communication with God. There's no way you can have given your life to Christ and you still believe in lies. So the fact that you believe in lies is an indicator that you are not in your word, not in your Bible. You're not praying. You're not fasting. You're not doing your due diligence. You're not studying and showing yourself approved. So when you believe a lie, you're going to suffer the consequence. So whatever a liar's fate is, you suffer it believing a lie. So it behooves you all to start looking at these things with a discerning eye. Ask God for wisdom He'll give it to you freely, because these lies coming down the pipeline next are going to set you up for the mark of the beast. I'm just telling you. So you better get this stuff right today. Yeah, Vincent Everett Ellison. Yes. I like it. But let's continue.
Explain what happened to George Floyd to my children. And try not to say that it's a dangerous world. Because I'm walking with my daughter, there's a police car driving by, and she held me tighter, like she's protecting me. I'm raising black sons. It's not the same. It's not the same for us.
The black man is disgusting. The black man is disgusting. He's disgusting. When you give a black man a microphone and a stage, it's what he does. The average black man is a coward. And he's a coward because he's afraid to own up to his mistakes. He's afraid to be accountable for what he's done. This man said he's raising sons and he has a daughter, and they see him crying on TV, scared of the boogeyman. It's disgusting. Somebody to call CPS, DFACS. Having children taken away. Yeah, I said it. Have his children taken away. He's going to cause more psychological damage to his children than anything else will. He's going to do it. It's child abuse at this point. Black men crying on TV is child abuse. They have children, it's child abuse. You see how dangerous George Floyd was? Not only was he destroying the black community alive, look at what he's done dead. Look at what he's done dead. I'll play it again.
I had to explain what happened to George Floyd to my children. And try not to say that it's a dangerous world. Because I'm walking with my daughter, there's a police car driving by, and she held me tighter, like she's protecting me. I'm raising black sons. It's not the same. It's not the same for us.
It's not the same for us. It's not the same. It's okay, brother. It's okay. It's okay, brother. It's okay. It's not the same. It's okay, brother. It's okay. I got your back, brother. I got your back. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how cowardly and spineless and despicable the black man is. And don't say not all black men, 99% of them like this. It's not the same. I walk down the street and I see a cop car and I have PTSD. I think to myself, will I be the next George Floyd? It's disgusting. The black man is the reason why the black family is in shambles. I'm not blaming the black woman. I'm blaming the black man. Because it's black men like this that are procreating. Disgusting. Disgusting. You crying on TV about George Floyd and it ain't even real. You got your daughter holding you tight because she know you soft. Your own daughter knows you weak. He didn't say my daughter jumped in my arms. He said my daughter held me tight to protect me from the police. Man, you know how soft and disgusting. The black man is weak. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm jaded. I'm jaded. I'm sorry. I'm jaded. The black man is weak. Weak. No. Black man is weak.
Soldier in the battle scene. So there's the soldier, the young soldier.
When he shot.
Yes.
Yes.
And the one he was saying, "Mama."
Yeah.
That was an ode to George Floyd. That we had him saying "Mama" to honor George.
I didn't get that at that time,
but I definitely heard him saying it.
You
He said something like, "Go see her."
Go see her.
You crawled over there to him.
Yep. Yep. So it was like, you know, Antoine was
That's deep.
so serious about emancipation yesterday, but
that ain't deep. Let me tell y'all something right now. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Black people are drawing from a lie. It's not reality. So what we think is so great about black people, they're drawing the inspiration from something that isn't true. Black folks have a cheat code when it comes to entertainment because they have a whole lie to base everything on. If a black person makes a dance up, somebody can say that dance came from back when they was on the plantation and massive like everything is a going back to some false narrative and some false story. I'm even calling cap on all the great stuff black folks is doing when it comes to entertainment because when I see them Asians, they ain't got that. You go look at them videos of Asians can do the same thing black folks can do. White folk, they say the greatest rapper alive ever is Eminem. He's white. So this notion that black people are the best is a false notion. It just is. Black folks are drawing. They got a cheat code. They're drawing from a lie. They're drawing for trauma they never had. They're siphoning energy that they shouldn't be allowed to siphon because it ain't real. Black folks are able to tap into something that's not even real. Nobody else has that cheat code. I call cap on all of it. How is it hard for me to tap into something if I believe in something that ain't even true? I believe I'm oppressed. That changes my whole being. I love decadence. That changes everything about me. Why do you think most black folks are typecasted? Because they draw it from the same well. Black folks play a slave. They play a gangster. They play a drug addict. They play somebody overly sexual. They play a criminal. Black folks are typecast. That's why they stop using. That's why they're going overseas to get black people. Going to London, the UK to get black folks. They tired of y'all because that well done ran dry. That emotional well has done ran dry because there's too much truth coming out. Too many black folks waking up. They're gonna go to Europe and get it because y'all too emotional. Y'all way too emotional. We want the actors from overseas because y'all too emotional. Because y'all might do the movie and they claim you got PTSD and then sue the director and the producer. We don't want y'all no more. Give us the black folks that know it's fake over there in Europe, protesting with tea and crumpets in their hand. They protesting and marching, but got tea and a scone in their hand. Go, let's get them. Because they don't believe all this nonsense. Foolishness. Foolishness. It ain't hard. It ain't hard to tap into this foolishness. It ain't hard. Mama. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. It's hard to act like that when you know it ain't true. Now you show me you can act. Show me you can act when it's not true. But if you think it's true, that ain't acting. That's called imitating. You're emulating, projecting. But remember that movie, Amistad? Giving us free. It ain't hard to tap into it. It ain't hard tapping into that mess. Come on, man, it ain't difficult. Let's continue.
Emancipation today.
Still to this day.
Right? And, you know, I feel like...
That just gave me chills. You told me that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like everybody, you know, it's not a black story, it's an American story. And my hope for everyone who sees the movie is to be able to feel it and cultivate empathy, right? It's easy to dismiss things when you don't have a visceral, emotional
attachment to it.
Yeah, you know, and for me as an artist at this point in my career, I don't want to do nothing that I can't say where I feel like it will be a contribution to the human family.
Man, shut up, Will Smith, shut up. Will Smith said, shut up. First you do the fake Chris Rock slap. You get an Oscar for the Serena King Arthur movie or whatever it was, King, whatever his name was, where you Serena and Venus Daddy. You got an Oscar for that. Movie was trash. The movie's budget was $45 million, but they owed you $40 million. So you bankrupt the movie. You had to pay the staff with your own, like it's foolishness. Then you fake slap Chris Rock. Your wife is in the stands doing a alopecia commercial. The Chris Rock go on tour after the slap. It's all fake. It's all contrived. It's a setup. Now you on here wanting to see that old Raggedy Slave movie. You playing another slave, like you really speaking for yourself. And you are a Hollywood thought. You done sold your soul 1,000 times over years ago. Now you down with the people, Will Smith. Get out of here, man. In an open relationship with Jada. She said, y'all ain't been together X amount of years. Y'all really just roommates. Y'all really just besties. Y'all ain't husband and wife. Y'all really besties. Both y'all dibbing and dabbing. So anyway, shut up, Will Smith. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see you play a slave. I don't want to see bullet head Jada on camera neither. I'm tired of both of y'all. Both of y'all are Hollywood puppets. You've been sold your soul. I don't believe none of y'all say. The children screwed up. You screwed up. I don't believe none of y'all say. So that's what I got to say about that. Shut up, Will Smith. Shut up, Jada Pinkett. I'm tired of both of y'all. Shut up. You ain't got, Jada Pinkett ain't got alopecia. She might have halitosis, but she ain't got alopecia. And Will Smith, you ain't identifying with no slave. Or George Floyd. George Floyd was a psyop. It was fake. You fake. Jada fake. The slap was fake. Chris Rock fake. Everybody in Hollywood is fake. Why can't we say it? Why can't we just say that everybody in Hollywood is fake? The only thing that's real is Jada Pinkett's bullet head and Will Smith and her having an open relationship. And y'all know when it's open, it usually means the man is dipping and flipping and tipping and skipping. That's what it means, usually. Anyway, shut up, Will Smith. Shut up, Jada Pinkett. Shut up, Chris Rock. Shut up, Stack and Matt Barnes. Shut up, all these folks in Hollywood. They all liars and they cowards, all of them. So the same people now so in touch with slavery was the same folks saying, get the shot. The same folks talking about oppression was the same folks saying, get the shot. What we talking about? That's right. Took a ride on the Hershey Highway. That's right. That's right. Listen to nobody from Hollywood. Jada Pinkett on tour spreading lies. She on tour spreading lies. Will Smith. And he got that Beijing in his hair too. And I see that Beijing. No good and well, Will Smith beard ain't jet black. His hair ain't jet black. What we look? Come on. Shut up, Will. Just shut up. Let's continue.
Close by saying this. I was, as a senator, as a United States Senator, a co-author of the original George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And as Vice President of the United States, we demand that Congress pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Joe Biden will sign it, and we should not delay, and we will not be denied. It is non-negotiable.
I said this before, but black people are like Pavlov's dog. All you got to do is say racism, and black folks start salivating at the brain. No context. Nothing has to actually be done. Just say racism. And black folks start salivating at the brain. What is the George Floyd bill going to do? At this point, this is an indictment on black people. It's black people's fault that they are this slow. It's nobody else's fault. This is a black issue. This is nobody else did this. I don't want to hear about no systemic racism from the past, no conditioning, no program. I don't want to hear none of that. For black folk to sit up here and cheer Kamala Harris is not an indictment on white people. That's an indictment on black people. No emotion in her voice.
So I'll just close by saying this. I was, as a senator, as a United States Senator, a co-author of the original George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And as Vice President of the United States, we demand that Congress pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Joe Biden will sign it, and we should not.
Joe Biden will sign it. Black women, ooh, girl, look at her. That's my vice president, girl. That's my vice president. Look how she said it, girl. She got Joe Biden in check, girl. That's my vice president, girl. Somebody said there's already a law against murder, right? What is murder is already illegal. So what is the George Floyd bill going to do? Nothing. It's a virtue signal. That's my VP, girl. Yeah. She running that White House. Look at her. Woo. Look at her. Black women eating it up. Same woman telling you to abort your children, castrate your children, put mRNA in your body. The same woman telling you to destroy your whole legacy is getting a standing ovation from black women. Disgusting. Behind every disgusting black man, behind every cowardly and disgusting black man, there is a black woman. They used to say, behind every strong black man, there's a black woman. I'm saying behind every degenerate black man, there is a black woman.
Act. Joe Biden will sign it, and we should not delay, and we will not be denied. It is non-negotiable.
Absolutely disgusting.
Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up, one of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil.
Let me tell y'all something about Kanye. And this is the problem. The bar is so low for celebrities that a celebrity can tell 1,000 lies, but if they tell the truth one time, it erases every lie. Just think about the bar we put celebrities on. And this ain't about Kanye. Kanye is double-minded and decadent and all these things, all those things above, and foolish. But I'm saying that these celebrities do all kind of wicked and evil stuff. They do one good thing. One. Not even good, not even a good thing. They just say something that's the truth. One time, one thing. He said the knee wasn't even on his neck like that. But then after this, he came out and apologized for what he said. Virgil is the guy that was he with some kind of, he was a fashion designer or something at Louis or Gucci? I don't know. I think he was at Louis. I don't know. He did something with fashion. The George Floyd Justice in Policing Act is a federal bill aimed at reforming U.S. police departments by cracking down on tactics like no-knock warrants and making it easier to prosecute officers. So in other words, the George Floyd bill is a destruction of America. That's all I hear. The judge has to approve a no-knock warrant. Oh, I get it. Y'all want the criminals to be able to get rid of the dope before the police bust in. I get it. Police officers get prosecuted. But the problem is when you're trying to convict somebody of murder, you have to measure intent. You got to measure intent. Just because they're white in a uniform doesn't mean they intend to kill black people. You can't. But again, dear black people, these seeds you are planting, you are going to reap a harvest. And when you reap the harvest, you're going to be in a camp somewhere. I'm telling you. If you touch that fence, you're going to get shot. If you touch that fence, you are going to get shot. Do not touch that fence.
Nigga know I play with me, I'll shoot his ass right in that ground. Hand around, step on LeBron Gray, hit him in the face. She gon' suck the dick, go crazy, bitch, I'm in the lamb, bitch, keep on top. Hit her in the glam, bitch, I have up in the glove. Hit him in the Porsche, hit him with the glove, I take him down, hit him in the face. Back LeBron, try like he a K. Bitch, I got the Glock up on my side, if he try to run, clap him in the leg and make a drive. Bitch, I'm in the sun, bitch, I'm in my deep, keep on talking, bitch, I'm in the sun. Bitch, I throw a bullet out there, bitch, in your.
One more time.
Fit around, nigga know I play with me, I'll shoot his ass right in that ground. Hand around, step on LeBron Gray, hit him in the face. She gon' suck the dick, go crazy, bitch, I'm in the lamb, bitch, keep on top. Hit her in the glam, bitch, I have up in the glove. Hit him in the Porsche, hit him with the glove, I take him down, hit him in the face. Back LeBron, try like he a K. Bitch, I got the Glock up on my side, if he try to run, clap him in the leg and make a drive. Bitch, I'm in the sun, bitch, I'm in my deep, keep on talking, bitch, I'm in the sun. Bitch, I throw a bullet out there, bitch, in your.
That's the problem with black people right there. You got a little kid talking about killing and women and all this stuff, and nobody's upset. No riots, no looting, no banning the song, none of that. Just a bunch of black folks celebrating. Can't read. Listen, you know he can't read. You know he can't do math. You know he can't write. We know this. We already know this. But black folks aren't upset at this. They're upset at me. Black folks aren't mad at this. They're upset at me. This young baby is about 6 or 7 years old. At the oldest, he's 7. I'm gonna say 6, but at the oldest, he's 7. He's 7 years old, talking about killing, shooting in the face, having sex with women, throwing money, and black folks ain't upset about this at all. But let me say that George Floyd was a psyop, and they want my whole platform taken down. Black folks are going to get what they're asking for. They're going to get it. And I can't wait to be there to witness. I can't wait to be a witness. This is a problem with black folks, because you know why? This is black culture. This is black culture. This is black culture. See, black culture is what black folks turn a blind eye to. Not what black folks celebrate. That ain't black culture. What black culture is the abortion rate. What black culture is the homicide rate. What black culture is the STD rate. What black culture is the reading proficiency. What black culture is the math proficiency. That's black culture. See, black culture is what black folks don't talk about. This is black culture. Not just let the black folks glory. This is black culture right here. Just let the black folks look and peek at, but won't say nothing about it. Shh, white folks coming. Shh, white folks looking. Be quiet. Be quiet. White folks looking. This is black culture right here. See, when the snake bites came out, black folks was quiet. When the snake bite came out, black folks was saying, get the snake bite. Get it for Big Mama. Get it for Papa. Get it for your family. Get it for your community. But what black folks wasn't talking about was Tuskegee. Shh, shh. Can't get that shot. Let's continue.
Bring you the culture, and then you go into a white.
Yeah, we gave you the culture. Black people gatekeep the stupidest shit. Like, other races are gatekeeping banking, are gatekeeping businesses. What do black people own? They don't own property. They don't own land. They don't own businesses. They don't have industry. Black people have nothing but nigga and dreads. That's what black culture's like. Yeah, white girl, you can't take don't put on dreadlocks, you're appropriating. Don't say nigga, that's our word. Yeah, that's what you're really passionate about. Listen to the way you talk about it.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, was the nigga supposed to kiss? You were supposed to walk the door, and he was supposed to say, welcome to my home, and bow to you or some shit. Like, you coming into my establishment, I can be as arrogant as I want.
What? And black people can't even be polite without having entitlement? What do you mean?
I forgot this guy's name, but he hit it right on the head, on the nail on the head. He did. Look at what black people get upset about. And he's not lying. The N-word, braids, cultural appropriation, all this foolishness.
We basically like lend you the culture, and then you go into a white.
Yeah, we gave you the culture. Black people gatekeep the stupidest shit. Like, other races are gatekeeping banking, are gatekeeping businesses. What do black people own? They don't own property. They don't own land. They don't own businesses. They don't have industry. Black people have nothing but nigga and dreads. That's what black culture's like. Yeah, white girl, you can't take don't put on dreadlocks, you're appropriating. Don't say nigga, that's our word. Yeah, that's what you're really passionate about. Listen to the way you talk about it.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, was the nigga supposed to kiss? You
You were supposed to walk the door and he was supposed to say, "Welcome to my home," and bow to you or some shit. Nah, like, you coming into my establishment, I can be as arrogant as I want.
What? And black people can't even be polite without having entitlement? What do you mean?
So somebody on here said, but black women are #1 graduates and business owners. So has anybody ever fact checked this? Has anybody ever fact checked that black women are the #1 business owners and graduates from college? Has it ever been fact checked? Has it ever been fact checked that black women are the #1 college graduates and business owners? Have we ever fact checked this? Has someone said, you know what, that sounds very interesting, let me look into it? Or did you not look into it because it was uplifting black women? Let's fact check and let's see. Let's see who are the #1 college graduates in America. Which group of women graduate the most? Which group of women graduate the most? Let's see. So which race is the most educated? Is Asians. Okay. Among black students in higher education, women are more likely than men to earn degrees. Black women get 64.1% of bachelor's degrees, 71.5% of master's degrees, and 65.9% of doctoral degrees, medical and dental degrees. The number of, let me go through this. The number of white women, 39%, getting an associate's or bachelor's degree by age 29 is nearly twice as high as for black women at 21% and 20% for Latinos. Among black students in higher education, women are more likely than men to earn degrees. Black women compared to black men get bachelor's degrees, 64.1%, 71.5% is master's degrees, and 65.9% is doctoral degrees, medical or dental degrees. So the facts are that white women graduate at 39% associates and bachelor's degrees. Black women are 21%, Latinos are 20%. Fewer students of color attend four-year colleges than white students do. 30.6% of Latinos, 27% blacks, and 39% white. Students of color are significantly more likely to attend for-profit colleges, 25% among the Latino community, 28% black versus 11.4% among whites. More than 64% of white students finish four-year degrees within 6 years, compared to 55% of Latinos and 40% of black students. So, and I'm on the site. This is called Fast Facts Education, Women of Color in Higher Education, the AAU. So now let's go to businesses. Are black women the #1 business owners? So the first one wasn't true. Let's see. Though Black women account for 7% of the U.S. population and 13.9% of American women, their businesses accounted for only 0.9% of total businesses and 4.2% of women-owned businesses in 2020. I'm gonna read it again. Though Black women account for about 7% of the total US population and 13.9%, 14% of the American women population, their businesses accounted for only 0.9% of total businesses and 4.2% of women-owned businesses in 2020. So not only are Black women not number one in business ownership, but they're actually last. They're actually last. And not only are Black women not the most educated, but they are actually just a percentage above Latinas. Just a percentage above Latinas. So I only highlighted her comment, not to get on her, but to show you all how you give a pass for something when they throw Black on it. And this is what I talk about with Black culture, that when they put Black onto something that's bad, you automatically accept it because they're telling you that Black is great and Black is without fault. But in actuality, Black women aren't graduating more than any other demographic except Black men. And they don't own more businesses than any demographic, period. They're actually last at owning businesses. So I think she means college grads, PhDs, and such, because it's true Black women hold that position. I just read the stats off. I just read the stats. Black women have higher degrees among Black men, not the total population. That's not true. It's among Black men, not everybody. Among Black men, yes. Among everybody else, no. It's not true. You got to think that 21% of Black women go to college. 39% of white women go to college. 20% of Latino women go to college. I don't even know what Asian is. Asian probably higher than both of them. All three of them, I mean. So I don't think it's true. Well, let me see. Let me see. So even on this, right, it says that Black women represent just under 7% of the population, but only 4.2% of biology and sciences, 2.6% of computer sciences, 2.8% of physical sciences, 2.3% of math, statistics, 0.99% of engineering degrees. Like, where? I just don't see it. That they breaking down all the numbers. I'm sorry. They breaking down every number. So again, I just don't think it's true. I think when people saw the stat, listen, only 5.2% of tenured faculty at bachelor degree granting schools are Black, and just 6% are Latina or Latino. Only 5.4% of doctorates are awarded to Black students, and more than a dozen fields did not have a single Black doctoral recipient. So Black people as a whole make up only 5% of all the doctorates. It's just not a true statement. Black people as a whole make up 5.4% of all the doctorates, just 5.4%. So again, I think when people saw the stats, they didn't realize it was compared to Black men. Again, Black people struggle with context. The numbers I read that were high were among Black people, not the population. National Center for Education Statistics. All right. National Center for Educational Statistics. Let's see what they say. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. Let me type in Black women degrees. Let's see what they say. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so but the percentage of degrees conferred by race and ethnicity and sex varied by level of degree 2020 to 2021. So we have, you said higher degree, we have doctorates degrees. Black women, Black females here are 11.6%. And it's so basically there's 99,327 total females with a doctorate degree. Black women make up 11.6% of the women that have a doctorate degree. 11 points, so we'll say 12%. Black men make up 8%. White women make up 61%. So, that's what it is. Hispanics make up 10%. They don't even put Asians on. Oh, Asians, 13%. So Asians, 13%, white women, 61%, Hispanics, 10%, Black women, 12%. That's in the doctorate degrees. So, I'm sorry. I went to I'm at the .gov. This is what they said. Go to the government. I'm here. This is what the government said. So I don't know. I'm sorry. Is what it is. But to me, because Black women make up 7% of the population, 12% is actually good. Like 12% is actually excellent because you only represent 7% of the female population. So that's good to me. And Black people as a whole. So if Black men make up 8%, Black women make up 12%. So we have 18% is above what Black folks are nationally, which is what, 13% maybe population. So that's good. It's actually good. It's actually good. But anyway, but yeah, so Khalil, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jahan, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Patrick, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Will says, love you. Blanche, if only 10% had your honesty and integrity, keep on keeping it real. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm about to get out of here. We have our show, Cutting Through the Culture, at 7:30 today. So I will be on that. But thank y'all for tuning in today. I love you all. Thank y'all so much. And who said I was bashing? Somebody said I was bashing black people. Oh man, see, now I'm bashing black people because I listen what I'm telling you. All I did was look up the actual statistics, and now I'm bashing black people. And I just said that the numbers are good because they represent a higher percentage than the actual black population in America. So I actually gave them credit for what the numbers I saw. But now I'm bashing black people. Again, what black folks are preparing is a way for the Antichrist. I'll say it and I say it again. That's what black folks are doing. Nowhere in this have I said anything that's not true. Nowhere. Black people supporting George Floyd is an indictment on black people. Black people supporting Barack Obama is an indictment on black people because they only gave both of those men a pass because they were black. That's an indictment on black people. So we can agree based on factual information that if black folks had to choose between character and skin color, they're going to choose skin color. That's a factual statement. I'm sorry. You know it and I know it. I'm not bashing. It's the truth. If black folks have to pick between righteousness or skin, they're going to pick skin, and you know it and everybody else knows it. I'm sorry. So instead of saying that I'm bashing, why don't you start holding the black folks around you accountable? See, the problem is that I'm a lone voice in the wilderness. Y'all around black folks all day long, and y'all never correct them. Y'all never chastise them. Y'all never tell them that's wrong. That's not true. That's a lie. Man up, woman up, pray. You never do that around them. You only come on social media and try to chastise me. No, chastise your immediate circle. Thank you, Chuck. Come to Cutting Through the Culture so we can educate you. Thank you. At the end of the day, you are doing your people a disservice when you know the truth and you stay silent around them. I remember you used to get in trouble for that. If you saw somebody getting abused and you didn't report it, you got in trouble for that. Where'd that go? Come on. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Cutting Through the Culture will be on at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all are welcome to join. I am Carla Mack. Please Mac yourself over to the show. It will be on YouTube at Chad O. Jackson's YouTube channel. I'm going to put it on here right now. I'm putting it in the YouTube channel it's on, which is Chad O. Jackson's. I'm putting it in right now. So anyway, I love y'all, and I will see y'all tonight. Put it on the screen real quick. Be at Chad O. Jackson on YouTube tonight, Cutting Through the Culture. Hope to see you all there. I am Carla Mack. I hope you are there, front row in attendance, with your pen and pad ready to take notes. And I want you to pray before you come on. I am Carla Mack. Say a prayer before you come on. Ask God to clean you out so you can be poured into. Ask God to use you. Ask God to get rid of all your preconceived notions. Say, Lord, tame my emotions down. Lord, just give me the will to want to listen and learn. Give me an open mind and an open heart. I need you to pray before you come on the show. Because you come on with the regular black girl magic, you ain't going to receive nothing. So get rid of all that and then sit front row with your pen and pad ready to go. Anyway, I love y'all, and I will see you all in an hour or so. Thank you.